A rich couple and an attractive young man find themselves on a desert island, but soon they struggle for survival when men begin to fight for the affection of a woman. Jennifer desperately swims to an uninhabited island, and as soon as she reaches the shore, she collapses in exhaustion. Until this tragic moment, she was on the Caribbean coast with her husband Jack and their two other friends, Bill and Gail. Soon after, they met Captain Gary Richards, who would accompany them on the cruise. While Jack was talking to him, Gail caught a glimpse of the attractive Manuel, one of the yacht's crew members. Gail expressed a desire to sleep with him, but Jennifer called her, despite the fact that he agreed that he was really handsome. When the group boarded the yacht, Manuel's ex-girlfriend, Maria, broke into him and started a fight. As a result, he said harsh things to her, for which he received a slap in the face. Enraged, Manny hit her back, which made her curse everyone and leave. That evening, the group enjoyed dinner while Manuel met their needs. Jack told about the scene at the docks, which Manuel refused to discuss. Jennifer then told Jack that he shouldn't have brought up the subject, but he replied that Manuel was a terrible person. While everyone was enjoying their stay on the cruise, Maria performed a voodoo ritual on Manuel, wanting revenge. On the yacht, Jennifer and Jack entered their room after getting drunk. Manuel, who happened to be staying next door, overheard the couple copulating. Meanwhile, Maria continued the ritual, but could not successfully kill him, and he only bled from the nose. The next day, Jennifer joined Gail Vanya, saying that Jack had been on the phone all morning. Then Jack went upstairs complaining that he had asked for a beer, but, "I didn't get anything." Suddenly Manuel appeared with his order, and when he left, Jack told Richards that this man had an attitude. Because of this, Richard confronted Manuel, threatening to fire him if he didn't correct his behavior. Manuel ended up quitting, and then the boy left after leaving the room. Before leaving the kitchen, he grabbed a pocket knife and goggles. Then he threw the handkerchief on the shelf, but it hit the open flame of the stove. Unbeknownst to Manuel, a fire started, as a result of which the yacht exploded. The group managed to board a lifeboat, but they encountered a boy, he said. A storm later that night that eventually led to them breaking up. On the island, Jennifer sees a body floating towards the shore, and it's Richards. She tries to resuscitate him, but blood is oozing from his mouth. While she is worried, Manuel suddenly appears, but he confirms that Richards is dead. It rained heavily that night, but Manuel warms Jennifer by lending her his shirt and hugging her. The next day, Jennifer wakes up and sees that Manuel has already buried Richards. She wonders if they will be rescued soon, but Manuel doubts that anyone else knows that they are missing. When he offers her some shell, she asks if there are other options, which annoys him. She then asks if they can light a fire like in the movies, but he points out that they have nothing to light a fire with. Later that day, they build a hut on the beach, exchanging glances with each other. The next day, Manuel asks Jennifer to swim with him, but he offers to leave her clothes on the beach so they don't get wet through. Although Jennifer hesitates, Manuel reassures her that he won't look, and there's no one around anyway. As she enters the water, she curiously asks Manuel why he hit the woman at the docks. He replies that she was poisonous and claimed she was him. She was pregnant to force him to marry her. Jennifer giggles, asking if this woman was chaste, which leads Manuel to ask if she was pure when she got married. She evades the answer, so Manuel accuses her of double standards, since she is allowed to ask him personal questions he questions, but not the other way around. He calls her privileged, like her husband, claiming that she owes him her life, as he supports her life on the island. Jennifer wants to leave, but Manuel doesn't look away. At the same time, she holds her head high when the boy walks, go back to the beach. That night, Jennifer treats Manuel for a cold. He really tries to make amends by telling her to snuggle closer to him if she gets cold, which makes Jennifer smile. The next morning, Manuel is going to go to the reef to look for lobsters. Before he leaves, Jennifer makes peace with him, saying she doesn't want to fight anymore. She tells me later he should call her by her first name. On the reef, Manuel successfully finds a large lobster. However, when he gets to the beach, he finds Jack by the water, so he immediately helps him return to the hut. Seeing that he is injured, Jennifer worries about he is her husband, so she does everything possible to make him feel better. The reunited couple starts kissing, while Manuel tries to look away. After that, Manuel and Jennifer give Jack some time to rest. When Jack wakes up, he finds these two on the beach laughing while trying to catch a crab. When they return to the cabin, they find that Jack has built a fire. He claims that he used several sticks to do this, but then takes back his words and reveals that he actually used a lighter. This makes Jennifer laugh, which for some reason annoys Manuel. After that, Jack asks if he can borrow Manuel's knife, but that boy, he said, The man offers to cut the lobster himself. At the same time, Jack assumes that he does not trust him. Then Manuel leaves the two of them to go for a swim. As soon as he leaves, Jack teases Jennifer about Manuel, implying that they have built a honeymoon suite. Jennifer thinks he's being ridiculous, then she goes into the water to swim too. When she returns to the beach, Jack apologizes for being jealous. Jennifer smiles, hinting that they all have to get along if they want to survive. Then Jack goes swimming, and watching him from the hut, Jennifer can't help but look back at Manuel. Later that day, Jack expressed his suspicions about Manuel has goggles and a knife. Jennifer thinks they must have been in his pocket before the ship sank. Suddenly Manuel returns from the beach and Jack asks how his hunt went. He replies that the water is too muddy and the reef is too uneven. Because of this, Jack offers Jennifer to help him get some food, leaving his wife no choice but to comply. Before she leaves, Jack once again expresses his jealousy, noting that he cannot grieve for his friends when Manuel brags to his wife. This annoys Jennifer, so she leaves her husband. On the reef, Manuel successfully finds a lobster. When Jennifer asks how deep he's gone, Manuel offers her his glasses so she can see underwater. She gets scared when she sees a shark from afar, but laughs when she realizes that this is what Manuel wanted her to see. Suddenly, a jellyfish stings Jennifer, so they return to the beach. There they discover that Jack has dug Richard's grave and taken his belongings. He also moved the hut without their permission, which annoys Manuel. Jennifer reprimands her husband for moving the hut and digging a grave. However, he doesn't listen and continues talking incoherently about how she likes Manuel. He also continues to insist that something has happened to them. When he sees Jennifer's jellyfish bite, he just comments that it's bad karma. Later that day, Jack shows off the knife he got from Richards and even volunteered to open the lobster they caught for dinner. Hoping that the two will get along, Jennifer tries to introduce the men to each other. Jack is working construction, so she shares that Manuel has taken up civil engineering. However, Jack uses this only to discredit Manuel's skills in building a hut. This causes a fight between the men. Jack warns Manuel to stay away from his wife, but Jennifer claims he didn't touch her. Wanting to annoy Jack, Manuel replies that he really thought about it. He then declares that he will no longer help them find food. When Manuel leaves, Jennifer complains to Jack that they won't survive. Wanting to prove that he is the best person, Jack claims that he will feed the boy. For the next 2 days Jennifer and Jack only manages to find a small shell to feast on. They are happy with this small catch, but when they see Manuel with the fish, Jack is determined to go to the reef. While he is doing this, Jennifer returns to the beach. She tries to open the sink, but it's not edible. Then she goes to Manuel, who is busy eating fresh fish. She asks if he's mad at her too, but Manuel says no and even offers her food. However, Jennifer replies that she can't do it because she will let Jack down. This infuriates Manuel, saying that her husband is an idiot who treats her badly. She almost leaves, but Manuel reassures her that he won't tell Jack that she ate some of his food. He even says he won't rat on her if she gives him a little kiss. Jennifer thinks his words weren't necessary, but the boy, he said. Manuel remains unapologetic and says he has always wanted to kiss her. Believing he won't say anything, Jennifer finally agrees to eat some of Manuel's food. Meanwhile, on the reef, Jack gets excited when he catches a small fish out of a puddle. On the beach, Manuel flirts with Jennifer, but she only laughs at his jokes. Before returning to the hut, she kisses Manuel on the cheek as a sign of gratitude. When Jack returns from the reef, Jennifer is still eating the fish that Manuel gave her from a stick, so she quickly hides the stick in their campfire. Then her husband presents 3 tiny fish. He did it, but when he takes a stick from the fire to light a cigarette, he notices pieces of fish sticking to it. This leads him to believe that Manuel gave Jennifer some food. Jennifer makes up excuses, saying that she actually stole from Manuel. She adds that she didn't save some for him, knowing that he would behave like a madman. Jack then hands her over to Manuel, but the man replies that Jennifer doesn't have to steal, as he is always a willing boy to feed her. The next day, Jack notices that their fire has gone out, but there is one in Manuel's hut. He confronts the man and accuses him of stealing their fire, so he buries Manuel's fish and bonfire in the sand. This enrages Manuel, so he hits Jack with a stick, which sparks the boy. He said, this is a physical fight between them. When Manuel threatens to stab him with his homemade spear, Jack accuses him of deliberately setting the yacht on fire. He adds that he did it in order to spend time alone with Jennifer. But Manuel denies the charges. Nevertheless, Jack takes Manuel's fish, protecting the fact that this man stole their fire first. On the same day, Jack creates his spear from the scrap metal found. The next morning, he steals Manuel's glasses. While he sleeps, then heads to the reef. When Manuel wakes up, he sees Jack swimming towards the reef. Realizing that he has taken his glasses, he takes his spear and tries to catch up with him. However, Jennifer desperately tries to stop him by dragging her body behind him. This provokes Manuel to touch her. He pins her to the ground while she tries to break free, but she soon gives up. This leads to the fact that these two copulate on the beach. Later, Jack returns with a big fish in his hand. Passing by Manuel's hut, he throws him glasses and is surprised that he reacted so calmly. He then proudly tells Jennifer that he encountered sharks on the reef, but managed to get his catch back. However, Jack notices that Jennifer is not behaving like herself, which immediately leads him to conclude that she did something wrong. He then assumes that she was copulating with Manuel. Feeling guilty, Jennifer can't hide her act and Jack confirms the truth. He throws a tantrum, not knowing what to do next. Finally he tells her to leave, so he drags her by the hair to Manuel. "A boy," he said. "The hut." Manuel immediately comforts Jennifer while Jack leaves. Later that day, Jack hunts alone in the woods and kills a snake, which he eats for lunch. He also creates his own glasses out of pieces of plastic that help him fish better. Meanwhile, Jennifer wanders around the island trying to find him. She then expresses her frustration to Manuel by sharing that she can't find Jack anywhere. Manuel is annoyed that she is worried about him, so he asks her to dance with him to calm her down. Worried. When Jennifer is dancing with Manuel, she sees Jack looking at them from afar, so she moves away from the other man. The next day, when Jack goes on his usual dive, he finds a lifeboat at the bottom of the ocean. Then he drags her back to the beach. When Jennifer and Manuel see him, they try to offer some help, but Jack refuses. Later, Jack repairs a boat with a huge hole in it. Meanwhile, Manuel goes to the reef, giving. It's time for Jennifer to talk to her husband. She tries to explain herself to him, saying that she did what she had to do to survive. To this Jack replies that she will also have to copulate with him if she wants to leave the island. The next day. Offended, Jennifer leaves. That night, Manuel invites Jennifer to swim and there they make love. Knowing that her husband is watching them from behind the bushes, Jennifer whispers to Manuel to take Jack's boat while he sleeps. The next day, Jack goes to the reef, allowing Manuel to steal the boat. He immediately warns Jennifer, and together they load the boat with supplies. However, Jack sees them, so he hurriedly swims back to the beach. He does not manage to catch up with them, but he does not strain about it, as if he knows what awaits him. It's true, Jennifer Emanuel barely has time to go far before the boat begins to sink. It turns out Jack rigged it to sink, leaving them with no choice but to swim back to the island. However, Jack had already burned down Manuel's cabin. Soon he notices Jennifer, who is angry at her husband for trying to kill them. She broke up with Manuel at the reef, but soon they see him swimming to shore. Jack grabs his spear and walks towards him, while Jennifer begs him to stop. However, this does not prevent Jack from hitting Manuel with a spear. Manuel hits him with a rock, but Jack lets him go, knowing that his opponent is seriously injured. That night Jack tied Jennifer to his cabin. Remembering their wedding vows, he tells her that they will have to put on a show to anger Manuel. Before he can do anything, Manuel suddenly appears and hits Jack with a stick. Jack resists and the two fight while Jennifer tries to free herself. Manuel manages to push Jack into the fire, causing him to burn his pants, which gives them time to escape. The next day, Maria continues her voodoo ritual and guides Jack by giving him visions that allow him to track down Jennifer and Manuel. Soon he finds them at the top of the tree. Jennifer tries to reason with Jack, saying that he will have to live with his crimes when they are rescued. She adds that Manuel is ill and he can no longer fight. However, Jack only throws a wooden spear at Manuel, causing him to fall. Before Jack can kill him, Jennifer jumps from a tree and tries to stop him. She ends up pinning Jack to the ground while trying to stab him with a pocket knife. Meanwhile, Manuel picks up a rock and tries to kill Jack with it. However, because he is too weak, he loses his balance and impales himself with one of the wooden spears. Back on the mainland, Maria screams with joy and despair when she finally kills Manuel. A year later, the family is sailing near the island, where they notice a hut on the beach. There they find Jennifer alone. Happy to be rescued, she soon boards their yacht, taking Jack's lighter with her so that he can no longer make a fire. When they pass by the reef, Jack, who is fishing, sees her on the deck and he is glad that he will finally leave the island too. However, Jennifer doesn't warn the family to stop and pick him up. She finally got her revenge by leaving Jack on the island to fend for himself.